Let's look at the definition of the Financial Planning Institute of Southern Africa and quickly unpack that. It's in essence to develop strategies to meet life and financial goals of an individual, and then to go further and analyze a person's financial position, comparing the current situation with a potential ideal scenario, and then developing a comprehensive plan to deal with that. So typically you would start firstly by analyzing a person's current financial position, looking at assets and liabilities, really the foundation of a person's financial position. Then perhaps looking at protection planning if there's a need. Here we're talking about long-term insurance, medical aid, short-term insurance. Then looking at savings and investment planning, looking at retirement planning. Without any doubt, the major headache for most people when it comes to personal financial planning, looking at tax planning, and then ultimately also at estate planning. I've been following this process with clients for 16 years, and the response that I've always had was overwhelmingly positive. You know, in a lifestyle financial planning process, the client is put right at the center of the whole process, and that individual's goals, dreams, and aspirations is thoroughly addressed in the process. So lifestyle financial planning is a particular approach to the financial planning process that we've just been discussing. So typically we'll start by discussing a client's lifestyle, and more specifically looking at lifestyle income needs, perhaps at various stages, planning for death, disability, and particularly retirement also. Once we've got that quantified, in the form of a specific income goal, say for instance applicable at retirement, then we obviously need to look at the investment side of things, and then to decide what return will actually be required to ultimately meet that lifestyle income goal. Return in turn entails that one will have to build a particular investment portfolio to generate that return, which brings us to the next point in the discussion, and that is the asset allocation decision. And here we mean, basically looking at the building blocks, if you like, of any typical investment portfolio. For instance, how much will you invest in cash, or how much will you invest in equity? So a balance needs to be struck between investing in various asset classes, and that brings us to the fourth dimension in this discussion, and that is the investment risk inherent to such an investment portfolio. At this point, we normally give clients a very tangible indication of what they can expect from an investment risk point of view. With investment risk, of course, we mean the likelihood that you might lose all or a portion of the capital that you initially invested. So if a client is uncomfortable with the level of risk that appears from a particular investment portfolio discussion, whether it's too high or too low, we can then adopt the process accordingly and redesign and redraft until we reach a point where there's a balance between generating that required investment return and the level of investment risk that a client would typically incur. So in terms of visualizing this process, there's a clear visual output given to clients in the form of a graph indicating their current financial position and the effect of certain recommendations that might be implemented, basically presenting a client with a current scenario and comparing an ideal plan scenario. If you are interested in this financial planning process, do make a point of consulting a certified financial planner professional who will no doubt be able to give you a lot more detail and take you through a process such as this.